Well, let's bring in Michael Ware now, our Sky News US contributor. Michael, what's your take on things?
Well, look, Peter, there's two stories here. One, obviously, is what is happening on the ground in Cuba. And we're seeing the greatest outpouring of protest since the collapse of the Soviet Union. And that's very real. And the Cuban people truly are suffering. But the second story is how this issue is being framed here in the United States. And I can tell you, when it comes to that issue, it's got far more to do with voters in Florida than it has to do with the Cuban people. Because everyone here in the political landscape is terribly aware of the power of the Cuban American vote in that all-important presidential state of Florida. So this also highlights for us the fact that when it comes to Cuba, President Biden is far closer in policy to President Trump than he is anywhere near President Obama. Now, that particularly boils down to the issue of sanctions. America maintains its embargo. Now, if you remember, President Obama eased the embargo and allowed people to travel a little bit more freely and allowed some Cubans to access American financial institutions and allowed Cubans in America to send remittances or money back to relatives in Cuba. Well, President Trump put an end to that and restored the very hard-line sanctions that we'd seen in the past. And President Biden, when he took office, he confirmed and kept in place all of those sanctions. Now, the government of Mexico, the president there, has called on President Biden to lift the sanctions. There's no country should be blockaded like this. And in the United Nations, just this year at a vote, 184 countries also called for America to lift the sanctions, and only 2 countries voted to keep the sanctions. That was America and Israel. And as I said, most of this is driven by US domestic politics. You know, you saw those scenes from Little Havana in Florida where Cubans were celebrating here in America about these protests and urging more action. Well, that's what I think President Biden is listening to, because Florida is ever so important to his political future and the future of the party, and the Democrats are struggling with that particular Cuban American vote.
All right, Michael, we'll leave it there today. Good to chat, though. Talk to you soon.